The other big story that I broke as part of the Sound Off Extra video I did when I did my SummerSlam review on YouTube, because the news had just broken, was Bully Ray leaving TNA. And as I mentioned on that video, Bully Ray had a locker room meeting at the TNA house show last Sunday, Hagerstown, Maryland, and he informed the crew that that was going to be his last night with the company, and he likely would not be back, so he wanted to say his goodbyes. And it caught everybody off guard. Everybody was shocked. Of all the people that you would expect to hear that from, Bully Ray was not that person. Nobody knew anything about it. Nobody knew his deal was about to be up. Nobody knew he was in negotiations for a new deal with TNA. He kept it very close to the vest. I mean, maybe Devon knew, or people close to him, but that's it. So it caught everybody off guard. They've been negotiating, but the two sides have yet to come to terms on a new deal. What we've learned since then is that Bully's contract reportedly expires this weekend. So as I am recording this, his contract is either done or it will be in a matter of hours. And he will at that point be free to negotiate with whoever he wants and potentially go wherever he wants to go if they'll have him. So that opens up the questions to, is he going to go back to WWE? Could he end up in Ring of Honor? Is he going to go to Japan? Bully, I think the Dudleys have wrestled in Japan before, and there are certainly a lot of Americans right now who are tearing it up in New Japan. AJ Styles is one of them. I don't expect Bully Ray to be working matches at the caliber that AJ Styles is, but they've got Doc Gallows and Carl Anderson, and you know what? I could see Bully Ray by himself, maybe not with Devon, going over there and being perfectly fine as this American, heel bully character who comes in and just beats up people. And I could see Bully Ray even fitting into a group like the Bullet Club. I wouldn't have put Jeff Jarrett in the Bullet Club. I wish they wouldn't have done that. A guy like Bully, I could have seen him fitting in there. It's just a matter of whether or not they want him. Do they feel like they already have enough Americans? We don't want to bring over every single American who needs a job. So I don't know how realistic that is. The bigger question is WWE. Is there value in one last Bully Ray WWE run as a singles? Okay, he was singles in WWE for a very brief period of time. So brief that most people probably won't even remember it. He didn't really do anything of note. He had one title match on Raw, I think, with Triple H, and lost, of course, as everybody did back then. And then they put the Dudleys back together when they realized how much they messed up. They never should have broken them up in the first place. So him coming to WWE as a big-time singles heel, I guess he could be a babyface. I think he's a born natural heel. And if they ever did bring him in, it probably would be as a heel. Could that work? I say yes. I know he's no spring chicken. I know he's 40-something years old. But I do think there's value in bringing in Bully Ray as a top act or even upper mid-card to top act heel in the company. I think there's value in a John Cena versus Bully Ray feud. If John Cena doesn't get the belt back from Brock Lesnar, which he should, he's going to need people to feud with. Rusev is a guy who they're seemingly grooming for Cena. So Cena versus Rusev may not be a feud that excites you. It doesn't excite me either. But it's a fresh match. They could do that. John Cena versus Bully Ray. You could easily get 2 or 3 pay-per-view matches out of it, and it gives John Cena something to do, and it just works. Because Bully Ray is a bully. It's in his name. That's his gimmick. That's his character. John Cena, the big, baby face of PG, going up against a guy like Bully Ray just seems like a natural feud. Now, of course, Bully Ray would not be able to do or say some of the things that he got latitude with in TNA. He absolutely would not be able to get away with a lot of that in WWE. But at the end of the day, what is he really saying and what is he really doing on Impact that's so abhorrent? Is he going out there and dropping F-bombs? Is he going out there and using a lot of sexual, innuendos and stuff like that? Not really. So I think it could work. And it's just a guy for a John Cena to work with. You could put Bully against a lot of different people. You could do Bully. If you really wanted to, I suppose, they could initially bring him in as a babyface and feud him with Brock Lesnar. I probably should have put his name on that list I did earlier. But if they needed a B-show pay-per-view opponent for Brock, and Brock was game to do 2 or 3 matches between now and next year's Mania, Bully Ray comes in, goes up against Brock as a babyface, 2 tough bulls going head-to-head. Of course, Brock wins. And then after that, you could do the heel turn, and then Bully can feud with Cena. He could eventually feud with a guy like Daniel Bryan. He could feud with a lot of different guys. Roman Reigns, Dean Ambrose. I mean, there's any number of guys he could work with. So yeah, I do think there is value in one last run for Bully in WWE as a singles. Do they share that same point of view? My sense is no, they don't. I don't think he left on the best of terms. They probably look at his age as being a big factor against him. So I actually don't see WWE having much interest in bringing Bully Ray in once he officially becomes available, which by the time you listen to this, he probably will be. And that's too bad. And as I said in the video when I first talked about that news story, it's a disaster for TNA. I mean, forget the public perception image, because TNA's perception has never been lower than it is right now. It can't possibly go any lower. You could drill holes into the ground and it wouldn't go any lower. But, Bully is involved in everything right now. I mean, he has been the face of these Manhattan Center tapings as the New York guy. They built everything around him. He was the one who put Dixie Carter through a table. It's like Steve Austin and Vince McMahon. Austin was the one who stunned McMahon, and that's an iconic moment in WWE history. TNA has built this table bump up to be something on that level. Of course, it's not, but that's the closest thing they have to, boss versus employee feud. Boss takes bump from employee, and Bully is that guy. And now he's also part of this big tag team series with the Wolves and the Hardys with the belts on the line. He and Devon are being inducted into the TNA Hall of Fame in October in Japan as part of Bound for Glory. Now you're faced with the possibility that unless he and TNA come to a last-minute agreement, which they could, they may still be negotiating even as we speak. If that doesn't happen, though, and I assume it just boils down to money, now he probably won't appear at the Hall of Fame. How are you going to induct, Team 3D into the Hall of Fame without Bully Ray being there? Would he agree to come in just for that one appearance? I don't know. But his involvement in the tag team stuff right now, with Davey Richards' leg being broken, he may not be able to make it back in time to have the final match of the series. And so you can't even say, well, you could just put the belts on the Dudleys so they go into the Hall of Fame as the champions and then take the belts off them. It's awfully hard to do if you're missing one half of Team 3D. It's almost like the Hardys may end up with the belts by default. If Davey Richards can't be back by the end of September, apparently he's claiming he will be. 4 to 6 weeks, he'll be good to go. That's all well and good. It's great to be optimistic, but he broke his freaking leg. You can't predict how long you're going to be out for. It's just a disaster for TNA.